This is all my fault, Achi said. It was my idea to hide out here in the first place. Bowed to Tomi repeatedly. We're never going to be able to find that blue minivan now. Guess we'll have to get someone on the outside to help us, Tomi replied. She scowled thoughtfully. They powered their phones back on in order to call for help. Oh, Tomi, sure, that's me. She took a look at the LCD display. It's an email from Mr. Tanaka. Oh, okay. And Tomi began typing out a response with practice ease. More wild delusions rose in Achi's mind. Ideas or fantasies conjured up in one's mind with no logical or factual basis. People can become deluded for varying reasons about a whole host of different subjects, thankfully. Achi's delusions here are of an ultimately harmless sort. Stealing a quick glance at the Tomi, you noticed her gazing happily at her phone screen. His delusions ran out even more wild. While he was still fighting furiously, the Tomi finished typing a response. So, what'd you wind up saying, Achi asked? I explained the situation. That we're trapped in a storeroom, you've got some guys chasing after you and you're looking for some van? Yes, I also asked them to please keep this a secret from my family and the police. Whoever this Tanaka guy was, the Tomi sure seemed to put a lot of trust in him. A short while later, Tomi's phone chimed with a reply. She checked the screen and a flash all eagerness. She couldn't help but ask, so what's that Tanaka guy have to say? That is utmost to pretend he didn't notice. I just did his utmost to pretend he didn't notice. Tanaka says he's going to look for the minivan for us. Huh? He says he wants us to hide out here a little longer. What? No, if he just comes and lets us out, I can go look for the van myself. Instead, if someone's after me, it's safer to stay where we are. Yeah, I'm out of the running, Achi thought to himself. Tanaka was clearly pretty concerned for her, and there was really only one reason a middle-aged man would think like that. Alright, fine. We'll wait. Achi turned to his phone off. He slumped back in a huff. 20 more minutes in the storeroom, the two were sitting in silence. Achi had to run out of things to talk about. Do you think you'll ever be friends again? You and that one guy, Susumu and I think it was. The Tomi's question caught Achi off guard. He stammered and tried to respond. Tomi shook her head. I'm so sorry. I barely know you. That was insensitive of me. No, it's alright. I mean, sometimes I wish things would go back to the way they used to be, Achi said. Let out a tiny sigh. What that Kiryu guy said was the truth. I was the guy who founded S.O.S. Do you know what I mean by that? Tomi gave a slight nod. I mean, I never wanted to be in charge of a gang or anything, but I knew that if I left, S.O.S would just fall apart. I didn't want everyone else to get all caught up over who would take my place, you know? So I thought long and hard about it, looking for a way for folks to stay friends even after I was gone. A loud voice echoed through the pool hall that served as S.O.S HQ. An establishment for playing pool, more formally known as pocket billiards. This particular place is a pool bar serving alcohol. The standard pool table is rectangular in shape, sports 6 pockets, 4 in the corners and 1 in the middle of each long side, and sports multiple games including 9-ball, 8-ball, and rotation. There are also tables without pockets. This style is known as carom billiards. What do you mean you're leaving? Susumu was positively red in the face. You're a founder, Achi. You can't just up and quit. Susumu had been almost like a younger brother to Achi. If anyone was going to try to stop him, Achi knew full well it would be Susumu. Look, I'm not gang leader material. All I've been trying to do is make sure we're all able to have fun. It's not true, Susumu said. Think about all that stuff you taught us. Don't you remember? Every man gets to make one core request in his life that cannot be denied. Those are your words, Achi. Did I say that? It's the heaviest thing you've ever said. And Achi's consternation, Susumu got down on his hands and knees. I'm begging you, please don't leave. Without you, our S.O.S is nothing. Achi could feel his conviction waver. I'm begging you here, from one man to another. This is my one request. Susumu, I'm sorry. Achi could barely croak out the words. I'm leaving you in charge. You can't, Susumu pleaded. Please don't say that. Achi turned his back to him in silence. Please, Achi, why won't you listen? I can't possibly beg any harder than this. Enough with all the request nonsense, Achi grimaced. What? Look at you, down on your hands and knees like that. Pathetic. What the fuck? Ultimately stems from the Greek pathetikos, meaning subject to feeling or capable of emotion. Over time, the meaning changed to signify exciting the passions, and later on to the more modern sense of arousing one's pity. Achi spoke as harshly as they could, fighting to mask his true feelings. What the hell? I'm fed up with you, all of you. Wow. Okay. With each word out of his mouth, Achi could feel his own heart breaking. But if he could make the others hate him, at least it would give S.O.S a reason to stay together. Sheesh. How can you say that? Why don't you try to pull that crap? Sumu's tone had changed from sadness to anger. Fine then, he railed. I'll never ask you for anything again. I'll do what you want. I'll take the reins of S.O.S. Achi walked away, waving vaguely without looking back. Good luck. I mean it. When she stepped out of the pool hall, he wiped his sleeve across his face and came away wet with tears. Sometimes I think that maybe I could apologize to those guys and we could go back to the good old days again. That's never gonna happen, not unless soon it gets better. He stared into the distance at nothing in particular. At least he sorted out how he felt about his former pals. Is there anything that can help your sister? Tommy asked. She needs a heart transplant, and the problem with heart transplants is that the timing is tricky. The act of surgically implanting one person's heart into another body, such an operation is typically only performed on a patient with severe heart disease who cannot survive without a new heart. There are strict requirements that must be met before a heart can be transplanted, however, chief among them that the donor must first be brain dead. Yeah. Gosh, that's rough. Even if there's a donor available, the transplant has to be performed within 4 hours or things get dicey. Because lack of oxygen causes damage referred to as warm ischemia damage, and any organ removed from a human body, a transplant must be carried out and blood circulation restored within a certain time window, known as the total ischemic time. In the case of a heart transplant, total ischemic time is only 4 hours. Helicopters and charter jets are frequently used to rapidly transport hearts for such operations. Oh wow, I didn't realize. Someone with a heart that's a match for Suzune would need to die somewhere near her, somewhere they could perform the surgery within that 4-hour window. The odds of that happening are so small it would almost be a miracle, which is what my sister's been waiting for. Actually thumped the left side of his chest. If my heart would do the trick, I'd gladly let her have it. Damn it, and I've got a strong heart too. He thumped himself on the chest again and again. Didn't mention it to Tommy, but Suzune's blood type made finding her a heart transplant even more difficult. She had Bombay blood. The type of blood that does not correspond to the more common types of A, B, O, or AB. In some instances, the standard blood typing yields a result of O in such individuals. First discovered in the city of Bombay, now Mumbai, on India's west coast, the blood type takes its name from the city due to its relatively high incidence rate amongst the inhabitants. It was one of the rarest blood types in the world. Apparently there was only a few dozen people in all of Japan who had it. Rare blood types such as Bombay are scarce enough that even nationwide blood centers seldom have them in sufficient supply. For this reason, when such blood types are discovered in everyday testing, samples are quickly taken to be frozen and stored at temperatures lower than 80 degrees below centigrade. If Suzune were ever to receive a heart transplant, it would need to be from someone who also has Bombay blood. Achi? It told me sounded like she was on the verge of tears. Wow, she must really feel bad for Suzune. If you did manage to find a heart for your sister, what would you do? What do you mean? Say if you happen across someone who was a donor match. I would do anything. Anything. Yeah, whatever it took. I risked my own life if it meant helping Suzune. I mean, at that point, I'd assume God had granted me a miracle or something, you know? Mr. Tanaka. Unfortunately for these two, it's not Mr. Tanaka. Right now, Tanaka is at the Osawa residence on his way to speak with Kenji Osawa, who is washing dishes after lunch. Director, if you have a moment. Tanaka poked his head into the kitchen. I've got something urgent to discuss with you. Yes, of course. Sal took the bug tracker from his pocket and handed it back to Kachiwara. I won't be needing this anymore. As soon as they had left the kitchen, Tanaka leaned in close and whispered to him, I got an email from Hitomi. He showed his cell phone to Osawa. It looks like my sister is being held captive in a blue minivan somewhere in Shibuya. But that man is still chasing me, so I can't really go looking for it. A blue minivan. Allow me to handle this, sir. I'll figure something out. Osawa knew he trusted Tanaka for a reason. Thank you, he said with a bow. Oh, you wouldn't happen to know any place she might have gone, do you, sir? What? It's just that all she's told me is that she's been moving around. I'm sorry, I don't really have any idea, Osawa replied. It was a shame to say it. There wasn't a single place he knew of where his daughter might be inclined to go. I see. Tanaka, picking up on his discomfort, was visibly embarrassed himself. He hastened to change the subject. By the way, how did your talk with Mr. Makino go? I confirmed that he was behind the human testing, but I don't know who sent me those emails. Tanaka paused for a moment and thought, looking like he might have a hunch. Alright then, he said. We'll have to talk in more detail later. With that, the assistant director headed for the front door. Mr. Osawa. Kajiro spoke on the kitchen door. Peeping on me again, huh? Osawa grumbled. Thankfully, it didn't appear that the detective had overheard his conversation with Tanaka. Good grief, that thing is noisy. If it's broken, why don't you just throw it out? The sounds from the bug tracker grew fainter and fainter. Something wasn't right, Osawa now realized. Mr. Osawa, Kachiro said. This is my bug tracker. So? Osawa huffed. What I mean is, sir, this one isn't broken. What? Chill ran up Osawa's spine. He swallowed audibly. I pinpointed the source of the signal, Kachiro said. It's coming from Mr. Tanaka. No, Osawa thought. I must have misheard that. Hold on. Say that again? We're looking at the source of the signal. It's coming from Mr. Tanaka, the detective repeated. This time Osawa heard it crystal clear. I'm certain of it. Mr. Tanaka has a listening device on him. Osawa felt the blood draining from his face. Someone had been listening in on the conversation just now, then they'd heard about the email from Hitomi. The kidnappers were the ones listening. That meant Maria's life was now in danger. I'll go after him, sir. Kajara broke into a sprint and Osawa followed close behind. To be continued. So what else did I have to do? I had to do something else,